Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, oh I knew it's you, yeah, boy.
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Everybody in the building. I see Tina Powers in here, Sonia Watts, Ruby Turner, Lisa Calhoun. How you doing, Lisa? Lisa Calhoun, Nancy LaRose is in the house. You guys, come on in. Zena Turbert is in the building. Come on, you guys, come on in. Share, like, and subscribe. If you're not, we've got to keep saying that. But anyway, you guys, welcome to the chat. We're coming in here this evening on September the 25th, 2024. You guys, wow. I mean, hey, Crystal Powers, how are you? She said, I'm ready to go home, y'all. It's been a long day, but let's get into the Young Thug thing. Y'all, oh my goodness. Well, first of all, you guys, I always tell you, because I know that sometimes these trials are kind of tedious, and some of you guys may feel like some of the information is irrelevant, but, you know, we've been waiting to see what is the big commotion about why they're having Zachary, little D, on the stand, and they brought him in, I think it was Friday afternoon around about 1 o'clock. They took a lunch and it was like, he's on his way. And I'm like, okay, because I'm ready. I'm like, bring it. Let's see what this boy got to say. Knowing that, you know, they waited for him to get out the hospital, and they had served him with a subpoena from the first judge and then the second judge. And they was threatening him, and they called his dad, and his dad, they told him he had a warrant out for his arrest, or there was going to be a warrant for his arrest. And basically, you know, for a subpoena, you know, like they couldn't find him. So I mean, if you can't find him, you can't subpoena him. Um, so the boy had went to the hospital, and they knew he was in the hospital, and they couldn't serve him while he was in the hospital. So when he got out, they did not only just serve him with a subpoena, they locked his butt up. I've never heard of nothing like that before, but it happened. And a lot of people were outraged about it. They was like, this boy is in the hospital because he's been, he's diagnosed as when he was just born with sickle cell. And so he's in the hospital a lot, and he's always on some kind of a narcotic, to deal with pain and stress and anxiety and in the sickle cell, disease itself. But they couldn't really give him medication because they want him on a stand. And here's the sad thing about the whole situation. I'm going to tell y'all like a TI is, okay? Okay, I understand that you don't want him on the stand and he's under the influence of medication. But at the same time, you cannot neglect giving him his medication because that is withdrawals. I mean, then he's frustrated and he wants his meds. He's in pain, and you guys are just want what you want and whatever. But they took this boy to the ring girl. Okay? So they had him on the stand. They had him all mixed up. They asked him a question, and I mean, he said some smart stuff. Miss Love asked him what was slime, and he said, you. He told Miss Love she was slime. He playing on the computer and stuff. I mean, he's I guess he's diagnosed with ADHD. He said ADHD. I don't know what it is now. I kind of was like, what the heck is going on? But this boy had told them, I guess, I don't know, he just like Woody. And the sad thing about it is I learned this today, but it's not that I learned it today. I knew of it. I want to share with you guys. These is all of these people that they're putting on that's talking and somewhat snitching. You got to understand, this boy was looking at 189 years. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do something. He done shot into some houses and shot some people. One lady got shot in the butt. And some other people got shot too. I don't know who shot who. But at the end of the day, when you shoot into an occupied resident, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know who you're going to hit. So, he was on the stand. He was having pain. And Miss Love is the prosecutor. She's the state. And he says, my head hurt, my stomach hurt, my chest hurt. She says to him, do you want some Tylenol? And he said, nah, I don't want no Tylenol. Y'all trying to kill me. And she didn't understand what he meant. She was like, why would the state want to kill you? Didn't we take you to get meds? Didn't we try to get your meds? Wasn't we trying to help you? See, first of all, you're not a doctor. You're not a nurse. You don't have no rights to give anybody medical advice. Now, what if he was kind of delusional and he took what she gave him because he wants something? Come to find out, this boy is allergic to Tylenol. Isn't that something? He's allergic to Tylenol. She would have gave that Tylenol to that boy. He would have been messed up. And then she would have been, I don't know what they end up doing. For 3-4 days, not taking his medication. He's under withdrawal. He'll say anything. Because he's done. He's done. DONE. Like, a turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Done. Oh my goodness. Now I do know that he's got to get up on the stand because they done gave him immunity. I guess he don't have to do the 189 years. And I wonder how is that this boy was looking at 189 years. Kind of make you wonder about like Corey. Corey looking at 160 something. How is it that a person that's looking at 189 years? Now, I don't want him to get not one day. Because, to be honest with you, I look at this young man and I think that the system failed him. The community failed him. He can't read. He can't write. Miss Love gonna say he can read, he can write. Didn't you write your name? Just because a person writes their name doesn't mean that they can read or write. And just because they look at something and you give it to them, you thinking, well, what was you looking at? People that has failed, the system has failed, and they failed in the cracks of things. They know how to cover up what they can't do and what they can do, what they can understand, comprehend, read, write, add, whatever. We do it all the time. We, as the people that went to school, graduated, not only that, if some of you went to college, took some classes, whatever, graduated, got a trade, got a classification, got the paperwork or whatever, or had a job, and you can exactly, Zena, a functional illiterate. That's all. And to be honest with you, I think we all cover up what we don't know. I told you guys there was a time I could not say specific. I would say it just like Woody. I would say Pacific. And I would try to say it fast enough that people wouldn't catch it. They probably did catch it, but they never said nothing to me. But I would still say Pacific. I would never say specific because it was hard for me to say it. It's still hard for me to say it. I have to wait, pause. I have to sound the SP out and then move forward. And if I say it fast enough, guess what? It works. Specific. Specific. Great. Anyway, that's just the way the world is, there's other words. That's just the one that I really had trouble getting to. Like I said, it was hard to say school. I couldn't say school. I didn't know how to pronounce the school, so I would say cool, and I would go school, but I'll try to say it fast enough where it'll come together, and like I said, I had a brother that could not read. I didn't know he couldn't read until my mother told me. He was a grown man with a woman, had children and everything. But then when my mother had passed away and we all had to come into a room and agree on what we were going to do. Everybody chose me to be the leader of the family. And maybe because, nobody wanted to pay the money. That's how I took it. But anyway, I put my brother right beside me, because he didn't want to come. And I kind of knew why he didn't want to come, because like I said, my mother had told me, he couldn't read. And I thought, okay. So I called him up and I said, everybody's here. We're waiting on you. We can't sign these papers until everybody's in agreement. And he didn't want to come. He was like, just sign it. I'll agree to whatever. And I just told him, this is what you do. You come. I want you right next to me. And don't worry about it. I got your back. I didn't say I know this and I know that. I didn't do that. Nobody gonna put nobody on front street, So he actually, oh, what just happened there? The police just breaking news. The police descended on Jennifer Ashton's house in an overnight swatting incident. Police are investigating in the wake of a swatting incident at actor Jennifer Ashton's home in Los Angeles. The police received a concerning phone call that led them to make a welfare check on the provided address, which turned out to belong to Hollywood star Jennifer. Law enforcement told TMZ they got a call from someone allegedly concerned about their friend, saying that they were not doing well and alluding to depression and other worrying things. Oh, staying anonymous, the caller requests a welfare check on their friend. That would have been Jennifer Ashton and resident, but no name. As a result, when the police arrived at Jennifer's home, both parties were surprised by the situation. The police reportedly arrived not long after midnight and were met by the morning show actress security. The police noted that this was when they realized whose house they were at, and soon after that spoke with Miss Jennifer and checked on her well-being. The 55-year-old clarified that she was fine and there was no chance of her hurting herself, as the caller insinuated. These sorts of events are known as swatting, which is a criminal harassment act in which someone makes a false report to the police that leads them to send an emergency response team to the intended victim's home. Along with Ashton, other reported victims of swatting include Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Clint Eastwood, Tom Cruise, and more. After the police clarified the situation, they reportedly recorded the actress' address so that if someone calls about a potential situation there again, they can contact her security before sending resources out. They are also investigating the phone call as swatting after identifying the situation, although no further updates on the case has been shared. Okay, they say people do that to, you know, yeah, crazy. I had two brothers like that, couldn't read or write, but fooled everybody. Exactly. Exactly. And then she's gonna put some papers in front of him. She's like, basically like, she gonna catch him in this lie. And you know what he said? He was like, you gotta read it to me. And she was like, oh no, she shoves it back in his face. She was like, no, you can read. He said, are you trying to make fun of me? He said, are you trying to make fun of me? And that's when she backed off and she was like, nah, but she was. She trying to make it seem like he can read. And here's the thing. Nobody said that he couldn't read a word. He's basically saying he cannot read full sentences and dissect what it means. Like he might can read the word and, the, pay, to, at, probably family, probably something like that. Something like Pooh Bear can do. Pooh Bear can read a little bit. But could he sit back and just go, okay, let's read this about P. Diddy? He can't sit there and go, the Bad Boy Records founder is facing an increasing number of legal troubles, ranging from lawsuits to sex trafficking, criminal cases that could see him spending a long time in prison. He's not going to be able to do all of that. He's not going to be. And who is she to put somebody on blast? And she just makes you just sick in the stomach when he just already told you, and y'all move forward. If he done told you that, move forward. You know, there's no need of that. Anyway, there was a lot of inconsistencies in his testimony. And when I say a lot, you guys, it was a whole lot. I couldn't even understand it to save my soul, to be honest with you. I really couldn't. He would say one thing to to the people, and then he would turn around and he would say something totally different 5 minutes later. And this is what I wanted to say. It's almost the same effect when you give somebody medication and when you don't give them medication. It's just like anybody in here. If there's a medication, just like, say for instance, I take blood pressure medication. Okay, if I take it, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. But I can't get on the stand and not take it. My blood pressure, and for 4 days it go up, and you holding it where I can't get my medication, and I can feel like, pain. I can feel, yeah, I haven't passed out, but I need it. I need it. And the other day, he hit the nail on the head. He said, and you know what? It's been in my head. He said, I may not know what my rights are, but I know one thing: you guys are violating them. And when he said that, the judge said, we're done. The judge said, we're done. And I was waiting on him to come back. And I bet you she was saying, I do not need a lawsuit. I do not need them. I do not need him passing out. You guys have no rights to figure out, what's going on with him. Or, he's not in custody. And you guys don't want him to take his meds. You guys gonna have to hurry up and do something. And you know what? The funny thing about it is, they kept on doing it. I guess attorney Miss Love has a hidden agenda that I'm telling you, she's literally almost crying, wanting this to go down the way she wants to go down. Like, judge, just I have a job to do, and it's for the state, and this, that, and the other. You got to think about some things. All the things that they're talking about, I'm in agreement with what they're saying. I really am. But this happened 10 years ago, and you guys got nothing. No one really actually saying, Young Thug did this, Young Thug did that. And that's where I have a problem at. I'm not saying that it's not a gang. I'm not even gonna play. It is a label, but it's also a gang also. That's my understanding. I'm not saying that the people that's in the gang has done some things. But I don't believe that Young Thug is the big fish. I believe he's a big rapper that has money. And he's not even putting his money towards them to go and do malicious stuff. He's giving them money, rent a car, maybe out to eat, get a job, do something productive. And that's all I see him as. Whether you like him or not, I don't even care for his music, you guys. I'm just being real. Because he's more like my kids like his music. My son like his music. My grandson might like his music. I don't care for his music. I don't listen to that type of music. But he's a human being. And all I see him coming out of the a problematic life, you know, and doing well. He believed that he can rap, and he's been doing rapping. And isn't that what we want our kids to do? Is like, and our grandkids, to stay away from the streets, get out of the street, find something you like, and we give them praises, we give them money, we go to their shows, we support them, and we support them. He's not like, even though that he grew up trap housing and doing malicious stuff just like these other cats. He's trying to go back and give, but it's hard to do. It's just really hard to do. And that's the problem. Well, Tina, they didn't give him his medication. They finally let him go off the stand. And we're talking about Zachary. He's off the stand. They did play a part where his dad was talking to, I guess, the chief of police or whoever was the supervisor that's telling him to turn himself in. He wants to talk to him and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. When in all reality, only thing he really had to do was like, well, go talk to his attorney, whoever his attorney was or whatever. Or go ahead and put the subpoena out there and find him. Just all kind of stuff they could have done. Instead of arresting the kid and then making him do all of that testimony without medication. That right there, I'm just going to be honest with you. There was no right way to do it. If you gave him medication, his testimony would not been correct. If you don't give him medication, you withhold his medication for 4 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's more than 4 days because he had to not take medication over the weekend too. Remember his mother, they buried his grandmother Saturday. So he was out medication Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 6 days. Do you know anything could have happened? And I'm pretty sure his family was watching and waiting for them to release him, and they wouldn't even give him his phone, which I wasn't so worried about the phone part. But how is it that somebody that's not arrested, they're your witness, and they don't get their medication, they don't get their phone, and then you're gonna lock them up in a hotel, or they at a residence house without any phones or any devices, so it's crazy. It's crazy. I believe that it's gonna be a mistrial. Because when you don't give somebody their medication, they have withdrawals. And not only that, they want their medication so that they can feel better. And they will almost say anything to get their medication. So I'm just saying, you guys, it's just, there's no way to, you either give the person the medication and have a doctor in the building, or have some kind of nurse or something with you to elaborate on, because not having your medication, sometimes you feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna faint, and they just keep going and going and going. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. Like, what do you want me to say? Because they're playing with your life. And it was just unbelievable watching the whole thing. It really was, you guys. That's why I tell you all the time, you can learn from any situation. If you sit back and you observe, you can find where how people will do whatever they want to do to get whatever they want. They really don't care about you. It can even be family members, they just waiting, waiting for you to fall out, waiting for you to pass out or whatever. You got to be very careful who you put around in your circle. Get you to start thinking that you ain't got no sense, you can't make your own decisions, and you name it, when in all reality, that ain't got nothing to do with the situation. You know what I'm saying? You're fine. Maybe you need to, check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar, check to make sure, if you got an infection or something, take your medication. But you can still go to the store. You can still make irrational decisions, No, you don't have to change up everything because they do it this way or they do it that way. I mean, it's crazy. Well, with this young kid, and he keeps saying he's a grown man, he made some bad decisions. And as he made these bad decisions, he was willing to, take his charges just like a grown man. He didn't want to do 189 years, but evidently it worked out for him, because when he left the court today, and he just left, it ain't even been a good hour ago, he just left, that he's free. Now you tell me, what person in this world do you know that can get 189 years? He was looking at 189 years. Walk out the door. Just walk out freely. This is what I'm saying to you guys. Read between the lines. They want Jeffrey Williams. He ain't pulled no trigger. He ain't shot nobody. He ain't robbed nobody. He don't even put money out there for people to go rob him, shoot him, kill him, whatever. Because if he's associated with him, we're going to give him some time. Of course he's money. He's money without them. He's money with them. He's money. He makes money. He goes across seas. He goes other countries. He raps. He does this for a living. He gets on planes and he goes, puts on shows, doing what he loved to do. And I'm going to tell you guys something. And it's just true. This young kid named Zachary was on the stand, and he said people were stealing from Jeffrey. I'm pretty sure they were. He's still nice and, vulnerable. He probably keep his real possessions somewhere else, not around them. So the little things like, if they took, a little ring or something he had, or a pillow, or I don't know, a knife set that he have or something, he ain't tripping like that. He ain't, because he would be into another country and they would be at his house, his condo. You know what I'm saying? So he was wanting Muntu to learn how to be a security guard. But I'm going to tell you something, and we all know this to be true. I'm just going to say it like it TI is. You can take, somebody told me this. Somebody told me that this is what they wanted to do. They had money. And they said, I would like to get, somebody that needed some help, show them a different kind of lifestyle. And so they didn't have to, sell, narcotics or whatever. They didn't have to rob people, places or whatever. And just show them a different kind of lifestyle. And I said to this person, I said, you can do that, but it's like beating your head against a wall. And what I meant by that is the old saying, it's a cliche, but the old saying is you can take the man out the hood. Y'all know the words, but you can't take the hood out the man or woman, whatever. You know, it ain't just men, it's women too. I seen a woman the other day. She said she was 38 years old. She said, I'm a mom, but she said, I'm a part-time mom and a full-time hustler. I said to myself, girl, I know you lying. Girl, if you a mother, you need to calm it down. You know what I'm saying? But I see why she was single, expressing herself like she got it like that. Like, why would you hustle when you should be settled? You should be settled by now. If you're 38, you should be settled in something, you know, whether you cook, clean, build planes, in the, you know, medical field, you know, typing, recording, whatever. You should be settled. You know, but hustling, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. But she did say that. And I thought to myself, wow, you know, I quit hustling in my 20s. I'm not saying it was out of me, but I'm definitely not going to put it on blast that, hey, you know, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. Nah, you know, I had to grow up because I had kids. And I didn't want them to take that path, you know? So it's crazy how some people, you know, I've got a friend and she got a kid, which is not a kid anymore, but in school. And she supports this kid 100%. Now the kid, you know, graduated from high school, now in a college, and she still tries to support this kid, even though the kid is full grown. The kid is 21, 22, whatever, you know. She tries to support this kid, whether she has it or not. She tries. She doesn't run around talking about she's a hustler. You know, I mean, different strokes for different folks. But I'm just saying, when you use that kind of language and you have that kind of mentality, you know, that child picks up on it. You know, and the child somehow feels like you want to say one thing, but then you act in another. And I'm just being honest with you. You know, if you really look back, and I'm just saying, this is what I've seen in my family. You know, if I told my family member, hey, you don't want to raise your kids up, and they're seeing you smoking the green lettuce, you don't want to do that, you know, because that's going to give them the okay, it's okay, or whatever. Now, they're going to have peer pressure. They're going to try it. They're going to probably even do it here, there, now and then, or now, or whatever. And, you know, the government is making it legal. I'm just being honest with you. But that's showing your child that it's okay. And they will throw it up in your face when you least expect it. So you don't want to do that. You don't want your kid to see you out partying all the time. Your kid's going to think that's okay. You don't want your kids to see you all messed up. Are they going to think it's okay? I don't care how you put it. I know for a fact that I am right. I'm sorry, but it's true. You don't want to put your kids through that. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, the child will pick up on that. And when they grow up, teenagers, in their, you know, teens and hitting their early 20s, we call them young adults, they're going to be in bad situations, making bad decisions because of what they've seen you do. And that's true. Yep. You know, and it's only few that'll get out having that over their head. I look at my like, say for instance, I'm gonna give you guys a good scenario. I look at my brother. They do all of this stuff in front of their kid. They fight, party, drink, whatever, smoke, whatever, whatever, whatever. And they raising their kids. They trying to hide it. Kids are sneaky. They gonna look, peek, and everything. You're gonna hide something. They gonna find it. You can't go to them and say, "Hey, did you find my little joint or whatever?" You can't say anything. So the kid pretty much know what you're doing. You can't hide it. So then now the kids grow up. How many? Okay, if there's 3 kids, and I'm just giving you guys a scenario. You got 3 kids. How many of those kids out of 3 gonna party, drink, smoke, club, fight? How many? I can tell you, out of the 3, all 3. Hey Valerie, how you doing? Hey Crystal Power, how are you? So you guys see what I'm saying? Now, some of them may do it more than the others. And normally what happens on that, one of them end up dead. One of them end up, trying to rob the dope man, or robbing the gas station, or, running from the police. I'm just telling you guys, I'm just telling you the truth, because I see it in my family all the time. And I say, and the family just cry, and they're sad because they're young, and they didn't have to do them like this, and they didn't have to do that, and da 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 da. And then, I just sit back and I just look and watch, because, you try to tell them to, yeah, you tried some stuff, you did some things, but when you came away from that, you don't go, you hook up with somebody that does that too. You hook up with somebody like does that too, your kids pick up on that. Oh, they gangster. Oh, they cheat on mama. They, like I tell my kids or something. I say, if you talk to me smart or whatever, and this was when I dated or whatever. I would not let nobody, you know, you know, meet my children. Period. Oh, I'll meet you somewhere, but you won't meet my children unless it was very, very understanding that you are a proper person. I feel like you're going to make right decisions and my children are going to look up to you. If I seen that it was not like they're going to look up to you, you doing something, I'm done. I don't care how much I like you. I got to go. Goodbye. And I probably didn't leave like really bad, especially like if I was in a marriage or something. But I guarantee you, I was waiting on it. I was waiting on it. So you got to make right decisions. And then your kids is always watching. And your kids is wondering, especially if you have girls. Your girls is like, well, what kind of person did mom bring home? Did you bring home a person that hit you and slap you and cuss you out and call you names? No, I'm not going to. Because I don't want you to end up with something like that. I'm not going to bring that home. The minute that we're arguing and cussing each other out and calling each other names, I'm done. Now, I'm not saying I don't cuss. Now, I'm not saying I ain't call no... I just don't call a man a name anyway, period. I think that's degrading. But I do know how to wait for it to end and be happy that it did. And will help it end. You guys understand what I'm saying? Because they're not making right decisions and your kids are watching that. Your kids, even though that you have young adults, they're watching. Sometimes it's best to just be alone. Don't be so desperate to just bring something home that is going to bring a lot of drama to your children. Sometimes it's just best. And this is coming from a married woman. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I see some of my friends and they date somebody because they tell me, they say, I'm just tired of being lonely. Or like, my cousin was like, I wanna walk down the aisle. Like, you don't know what you asking for. It's not just for everybody, and you don't just pick somebody because they are a man statue or whatever. You don't, I had some disturbing information came to me the other day. Somebody that I know, that I know, that this, I'm just gonna say I know this person, and this person wasn't somebody that I was very fond of. I had to correct him a couple of times, uh, you know. But anyway, um, I just I've told this person I didn't want them around my daughters because the way that they thought, the thought process wasn't correct. And what I mean by that was this person would only date a particular race, not black. And I said, what is wrong with African American women? And they had nothing but negativity to say. So I told them that they cannot come to my home because your mother is African American and I'm African American and my daughters are African American, and I don't want that negativity around us. Well, they said, okay, they won't talk like that. But they had it in their heart. Anyway, to make a long story short, they didn't never say something like that again. But that particular person only date a certain race. And so you wonder, why is it that they date a certain race? And then so people be like, well, there's got to be something wrong with the African American women for them not to want to date an African American woman. I always thought to myself, when men say something like that, being African American, I would say we have a higher, and I'm just saying, I can only speak for African American women, me. We have higher standards because all our life we've always had a God that we had to put first. It never was money. It never was a man bringing home money. It never was a job that gave us money. We always put God first because we are the most hated. So we just ask God to give us favor. We always ask God to show us the way. We always ask God to make it happen. We ask God to have blessings on us. And I mean, even in our families, we just do. And God's law is before man's law. And that's how we grew up. And that's how we grew our children up. Anyway, nevertheless, so I always thought, and this was just my thought, that African American women are very strong in their beliefs, strong in their, what they stand on, strong in their God. So this person don't want to be around a person that's strong in the God the woman carries as her father. I hear some of you women be talking about, that's my daddy and that's my man, and no, it's God. Come on now, let's get for real. He's God. He's God. Could be father, but not like a mortal father. Okay, he's God, but he will. Especially if you grew up without a father, you don't know what a father like is. So only thing I can say is he's God. Anywho's, um, what I was saying was this man is not one to be around a person that put God first. And some of you guys understand what I'm saying, some of you guys don't. It I don't think it's racist at all because it's just the truth. It's what I believe. But that doesn't make it true, but it does for me. But anyway, nevertheless, this particular person just was, like I said, only date a certain race, not African American. But just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. You guys understand what I'm saying? And I wonder why he would do something of that nature. Is it because, and I used to remember African American men would always say, "Oh, I only date a certain race because they nice, or they don't argue, or they submissive." Or you think they dumb. And they're not. They're not submissive. You know what I'm saying? They're just like any other woman. They really are. But see, they didn't have all the negativity that came with growing up as an African American little girl. You know, seeing mama working 2, 3, 4 jobs, getting cheated, or whatever, or the lower education. They didn't see all that. So, and we're still here, and we're still here. And actually, if you really look up how the statistics read from you can go back as far as you want to go back. Only thing you're going to see is an incline in the African American women when it comes to education, when it comes to economy, when it comes to the income, when it comes to everything. You're going to see an incline. We're doing wonderful. So whatever it is, just keep it up. Because we're not the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to that. When it comes to education, we're not the lowest. When it comes to, income, we're not the lowest. But we have been picked over. Better jobs, better education, better lifestyle, living where you want to live. We really have. And we done learned how to get grants and loans and how to budget and how to feed a full house on $10. We're very well structured with our God. So sometimes in a negative situation, positive things come out. That's all I wanted to say, you guys. But, when somebody really look down at you for something that you can't. Just like if I was white, I can't change because I'm white. If I was born white, I'm white. Well, Michael Jackson can do stuff like that. When you got money like that, people like that can try to change their color, but then they look awkward. They don't even look realistic. They look like an albino and everything else. But nevertheless, and then somebody want to change their name to a symbol, and everybody wants all this extra attention. It's just weird. It's just all weird. But anyway, thank you for the love you guys you giving me and everything. But yes, Miss Valerie, this case is a wrap. I think that they still got about 40 more witnesses, and all the fireworks is over with. But I'm gonna still keep up with it. I was just letting everybody know, like, just because somebody don't believe that you should, who you are who you are, whether you can read, you can write, do arithmetic or whatever, or you got an eighth grade education, whatever, you got black hair, brown hair, blue eyes, whatever, you are who you are. There's nothing wrong with being white, nothing wrong with being black, nothing wrong with being brown, nothing wrong with being pink, nothing. There's nothing wrong with who you are. And the person that is probably saying something negative to you, if you're single maybe because you want to be single. Maybe it's not time for you, or maybe you don't. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys right now. If I got a divorce or my husband left me, I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm not dating no more. And it ain't because of something he did or something. I really just don't even want to. I really think I just don't even want to date no more. I don't want to share nothing. I don't want to share nothing. I don't want to look at nothing. It ain't because I'm so in love. It's because I just don't want to anymore. I want to be done with this world, with anybody else in my life. I don't want to trust anybody else. I'm not mad at nobody or anything. I just don't want to. So if something ever happens where my husband pass away or something, I'm just good. I'm just good. And it ain't got nothing to do with, you know. Now, I don't know how long I can be single, and then I might be like, but I just think, I just think that sometimes life can be good by yourself. Maybe I could spend more time with God, and I ain't gotta have to please a man or want to know what they want to eat. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. So don't feel bad, or don't let somebody make you feel like marriage is all that. It ain't all what you think it is. You know? It's good sometimes. It got its good days, and it's got a whole bunch of bad days. But once you make that commitment, you just hang on in there. You don't want nothing to happen to your partner, and they don't want nothing to happen to you. And two together, you can always come to Lord and ask for, he gonna be there in the midst. You ain't gotta go look for somebody other than that. That's really what you're getting. I mean, some people talking about, oh, you get some more income. You could and you could not. And some people be like, you get to have sex. You could and you could not. You may not. That might get taken away. They might get paralyzed from the waist down. They may not even feel like sex no more, or whatever. Or they may not even be pleasing to the eye anymore. Maybe they getting it somewhere else. I don't know. You don't know what you're gonna get. But once you in it, you just thank the Lord for what He's given you, and just do well in whatever He gives you. But I hope, Young Thug, I believe that he is not going to be found guilty on this. I don't think Miss Love has showed any evidence other than a whole bunch of little boys that done grew up 10 years ago. I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, I can't even remember what I was doing 10 years ago. I can't. I think I was single. But I'm too old now. I do not. You know what? I was looking at this dating show the other day where these men would meet these women. They had 10 women lined up, and the 10 women had balloons, and the man would come out and he would say what his profession was, how old he was. And the women can pop the balloon if they don't like something. They don't like how he look, how he dressed, what job he has, or things of that nature. And this one guy came out, and the lady asked him. He had on glasses, and I guess he had an earring in, and he had one earring. It was a dangling leaf. I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but anyway. She asked him, was that his real eyes? Because I guess he had blue eyes or green eyes. I couldn't see his eyes. but he had glasses on. And she said, "Is those your real eyes?" And I'm thinking, well, he got glasses on. Of course they his real eyes. Because if they wasn't, he wouldn't need his glasses. And he said no. He started laughing and he said no. And they was the age of like 48, 50, 50, 51, 52. And it wasn't that he had color contacts on. It's that he had glasses on with the color contacts. Like, why don't you get the prescription contacts? That's all you had to do. But, I mean, he was just doing too much. And I just said to myself, oh my Lord. Now, that's something that women do. Women do stuff like that. But nowadays, you guys, let me tell you, you can't say women wear the dresses. You can't say that. You can't say women go in the kitchen and cook. You can't say that because men cook. There's more men cook better than women nowadays anyway. But, you know, it's not a gender role anymore. So, but I just don't want no man that's going to wear fingernail polish and sitting there wearing extensions. And his extensions look better than yours. Okay? I'm just saying. Because that's all I see over there. Young Thug, he got extensions. And Shannon, he got extensions. You know, them boys. And then that other boy in the corner, he got extensions. And the extensions look pretty good. I ain't had my hair done in almost 2-3 weeks. But anywho, I'm sick and tired of hair. I don't know if I'm going to chop it off or what. But anyway, you guys, that's just life. That's just life. Crystal said, I truly understand what you're saying. Anyway, you guys, I'm hoping that Young Thug do not be found guilty. I believe he's not going to be found guilty. But we're going to be watching. I did want to say one thing before I get off of here. That's funny. I said something like that. And then on the bottom, they got on here, deep blue. You know, Delight Blue Earth contacts. They're talking about contacts, and I don't even know why. These phones are something else. These phones are really something else. Wow, that's crazy. You really got to watch what you say. You really got to watch what you say. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. I wanted to say the trial on the Tyre Nichols case. One of the officers got on the stand and he started crying, you guys. He started crying. I don't know who it was. I was trying to look it up real quick. Let me bounce and just look to see who it was that was crying on the stand. It just I remember seeing that. It came across my screen on the update. If anybody got that information, please put it in the chat. Because they don't want us to see that Tyrese Nichols update. Ex-officer testified in tears. He's sorry for Tyre Nichols' beating. I made his child. Hold on. A former Memphis police officer who has pleaded guilty to violating Tyre Nichols' civils testified Tuesday, saying he left Nichols' young son fatherless, that he was sorry and that he wishes he had stopped the punches. Desmond Mills. That came from Desmond Mills, you guys. He took the stand Tuesday. Let me see. As the video, I made his child fatherless, said Mills, who used a baton to strike Nichols. I'm sorry. I know. Sorry can't bring him back. Mills said it hurt to know he was a part of that beating. It hurts inside so much, he said. The officers used pepper spray and a taser on Nichols, who was black, during a traffic stop, but the 29-year-old ran away. Police video showed the 5 officers. Mills described the video of the officers talking and laughing near the injured Nichols Mills acknowledged he and fellow officers didn't request emergency services and didn't tell their supervisor they had punched, kicked, and hit Nichols with the futon. It was ugly, he said. Mills said he removed his body camera after the beating when Martin motioned towards him to do so because he wanted to tell Mills something. Now remember, okay, Martin. Mills testified earlier Tuesday that he was looking to leave his crime suppression unit. He said he didn't like the structure or go, go, go approach of the Scorpion unit, whose success was determined by arrest numbers and other statistics. I didn't like the hostility team members showed citizens. Mills said he noted that Haley and Emmett were known as the Smash Bros for being over aggressive and that Haley did not always turn on his body camera. Martin took a plea deal and already testified in the trial. Okay. Mills, who was teamed up with Bean when Bean joined the Scorpion unit in 2022, said Bean was inexperienced. He said he had to teach Bean how to differentiate between the types of drugs found at crime scene. Jurors again watched Mills' body camera, which shows Nichols calling for his mother and Bean and Smith punching him without trying to handcuff him. Defense attorneys have questions whether Martin and Justin should have been working on the streets that day. Martin has testified he was angry after an on-job injury and had seen a counselor before returning. Justin Smith hurt his knee the day before the beating and was on desk duty before his supervisor. Lieutenant Dwayne Smith asked him to go out and join his team the night it happened. Dwayne Smith testified. Mills testified that Justin had checked on Martin and he was not doing well after a car hit him on the job. Mentally, something was wrong with Martin, Mills said. Mills said he pepper sprayed Nichols because he thought it would help to get Nichols handcuffed. He said he did not try to help handcuff Nichols because I was just forced on using the pepper spray. Mills noted he weighed 305 to 310 pounds and Martin weighed about 270 to 80. Nichols was the smallest person out there. Haley Bean and Justin pleaded not guilty. Haley Bean and Justin pleaded not guilty. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. I will see you guys Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time.